watched the
Well, good evening, y'all. Happy Saturday night for some of us, Sunday morning for others of us. So glad y'all have joined. Tracy, I see you. Hello. Hello, hello. Nice to have you with us. As always, such a pleasure. Good morning to you. Hope everyone else is having a fantastic weekend so far. And we're doing a UFO space on the Gabriel Speaks podcast. If you haven't joined or watched before, don't forget, hit that little like and subscribe button. That really helps us out here, and we would appreciate it. So we're going to cover some crazy shit tonight because for the last couple last couple years, really, we've been seeing scientists, generals, Air Force personnel, researchers, teachers that have something to do with the aerospace, UFO type field, maybe physics, maybe the science, maybe the mathematics part of it, maybe the aerospace part of it, maybe like the most notable and current General McCasland, where he really kind of had his hands in everything. And this gentleman now has been missing for 36 days. And we're going to listen to his wife's 911 call, which I don't know what to make of it. She doesn't sound very panicked. She sort of mentions like, you know, he's been frustrated with like some of his mental struggles lately, but doesn't imply that, I don't know, kind of implies like maybe that's the reason he's gone. She certainly says something to the effect of he's gone and it doesn't look like he's left any indication of coming back because he left his devices and he took off with things he normally takes with him. So very interesting 911 call we're going to check out. We're going to talk about this very interesting character. Her name is Carla Ruckert. Some of you may have heard of her before. Some of you may have not heard of her before. But she was a channeler. And at one point, she believed that she was channeling with Ra. Yeah, like that Ra. Except it wasn't what people think of Ra. Typically, we think of Ra as like this powerful god, the sun god, right? As one entity. And kind of a difference in her theory is that Ra was actually a collective of entities, a collective of consciousness is consciousnesses, consciousi. So that is pretty interesting to me. And when I was going through her stuff and researching her stuff, I found it very interesting. One of the first audios I started listening to, she said something to the effect of, if I do this right, I'll be famous after I've died, because nobody wants to deal with the fame while they're alive. And I thought, well, that's a woman with some insight there. So we have a little bit of her, and then this group that she had worked with, the Law of One. And I'm going to put this link here in our chat, just in case you all would like to check it out. But you can go to the lawofone.info. And this is all stuff that she had uploaded and provided for free if you want to download it. And it's all about her theory on what Ra actually was. So we're going to get into that a little bit. Where, of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Bob Lazar once again showing up on Joe Rogan. And it's very interesting that Bob Lazar's appearance the first time on Rogan is still the most viewed appearance on that show ever. That's a lot of streams, right? Like millions and millions of streams. Pretty wild. Okay, so we're going to get back to our news clips here.
The warhead, the dummy warhead, the chat.
Now, this is a clip quite a long time ago from Larry King Live. And what's is being described here is a UFO that kind of came out of nowhere during a missile test at Vandenberg and completely disabled this warhead. It's pretty amazing, and you didn't hear much about it afterwards, but very interesting description here. Check this out.
That was put out in front of it as a decoy to deflect the Russian anti-missile tracking radar. Everything was flying along, and suddenly, in the same direction this stuff was flying at about 8,000 miles an hour, an object came into the frame, shot a beam of light at the warhead, flew up to the top, shot another beam of light at the warhead, flew around the direction it was flying, shot another beam of light at the warhead, flew down, shot another beam of light at the warhead, and flew out the same way it came in.
Well, I don't see it. Why didn't you see this when you were shooting it?
Well, it was 800 miles away from us.
Now, don't get excited because that wasn't actual footage. That was recreation footage. I have seen people try to say, like, clip that up and say it's real footage. It's not. It was footage that CNN made. But pretty amazing description. He wasn't the only person that experienced something crazy at Vandenberg. Representative Burchett and Representative Burleson have quite frankly been scaring the shit out of me for the last 2 weeks. I'm kidding. You can only take what a politician says about 2% seriously. But they have both said within the last couple of weeks that they are terrified. Burchett says at one point in this interview that if people knew what he was briefed on before he stopped himself before he let it all slip out. He was going to say it's going to set the world on fire. But he stopped himself and he said, people will panic. And that's in reaction to Matt Gaetz going out and talking about an alien hybrid program, saying that a government military official told him there are several locations where hybrid aliens are happening. And this is something that has been theorized for decades at this point. Pretty wild stuff. Now, the claim is not new, but what's new was Representative Burchett's reaction to the claim, being a member of this UAP task force. So we'll take a look here.
4 people who worked in government programs and knew a whole lot about that topic have either vanished or have been murdered. The first was retired General William Neal McCasland, who had ties to UFO programs in the government. He disappeared suddenly from his home in New Mexico in February. He left his phone, his glasses, and his watch at home. He also worked at an Air Force base that reportedly held the debris from the Roswell, New Mexico crash in the 1940s. Then it was Monica Reza, a former NASA engineer who worked directly under General McCasland on advanced propulsion engines. She vanished while hiking in California last June with friends who say they have no idea what happened. Then it was Nuro Lareyo, the director of plasma science at MIT. He was murdered in his home in Boston in December. And then it was Carl Grillmar, a Caltech astrophysicist who discovered water on another planet where there may have been life. Carl was murdered randomly in his home last month. Our next guest says,
now, this is just like within the last couple years, y'all. And James, absolutely. You know, I was told monsters weren't real too, but damn. How else do you describe what is happening? I mean, a general disappears without a single sign. Hybrids. I mean, are these scientists slowly figuring things out? But as they communicate that to people above them, are they then being removed from the equation? Because we're going to hear Tim Burchett here in a second basically say there's some world-shattering information out there that is being withheld from us. I want to know what that is, and I think we all have a right to know what that is.
This was not a coincidence. What do you think's going on here?
Well, I don't know exactly. I just know there are no coincidences in this town. These folks have disappeared or died mysteriously, and there's the only thing that ties them together is the fact that they worked on things that are dealing with outer space, whether it's UFOs or nuclear secrets or missiles or what have you. We've got a real problem, I think, in this area, and I think you've got some arrogance. When I sit in a meeting and some little punk with a man bun is sort of running the show, and you have decorated military officers in the meeting there.
Some little fucking punk with a man bun. Fuck that guy. Oh, man. After I just cursed, I'm sorry. But yes, I did put it up again, commentary connoisseur, because I do love that quote. Now, look, if you're not Christian, that's okay. To me, now I am, but to me, it's about being grounded, right? Like having a solid foundation so you don't fall for anything, right? It's that old adage, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And having a foundation in something like God or whatever it may be that you decide or that you feel is correct, you need to go with that. Bob Lazar, let's see. Catching up on the comments here. Bob Lazar, doc is pretty good. Took 3 years to get it right. I have not seen the new one. I know that that's kind of what they were plugging on the Joe Rogan show. Looks like I fell for something. All right. So it says, my Sunday school teacher taught me to forgive and to spread the... Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Clever, clever. You got me. That's a pretty good one. Okay, so let's let Burchett continue here. And I'm telling you all, if you didn't see this interview, it's pretty wild.
That are basically unallowed to say anything, and you can read their faces or what's going on.
Well, General McCasland, he was not a minor player at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. He was there for more than 35 years. At one point, he was the top guy at that base. A sound by former colleague of yours, Matt Gaetz, making some pretty shocking statements yesterday about aliens.
I had someone come and brief me who was in a military uniform, worked for the United States Army, that was briefing me on the locations of hybrid breeding programs where captured aliens were breeding with humans to create some hybrid race that could engage in intergalactic communication.
Literally, I'm making the same face as the commentator, right? That, like, what? How do you compute that in your brain? I mean, we've all heard it before. We've read it in books. We've seen it in movies. We've heard the theories. But to hear someone, you know, and you can like or hate Matt Gaetz, but to hear someone at that level communicating with someone in the military that's telling him this. Now, is it true? Is it misinformation? Is it disinformation? Is it who knows? Is it something completely different? It's hard to say, because oftentimes these folks, like commentary connoisseur here, they got me. They'll get you, right? They're smooth. Oh my God. James says Tia Tequila was shape shifting. Wow. Tom DeLonge from Blink 182. I don't think, no, you're not saying he was a shapeshifter, right? Just that he was involved. Yeah. Boy, they did a number on him, right? All those cats came in and they just used him, abused him, fucking tossed him to the side and moved on. I fucking love Tom DeLonge. And he was really trying to do the right thing. He just got fucking played by these assholes. I think he knows the truth too.
Aliens that were living were in forced breeding programs with humans that had been abducted from war zones and from even the caravans of migrants.
And so that would also kind of align with what Herrera has said, right? That he witnessed this kind of special ops group loading up what at first he thought were drugs into this black UFO. Turns out he goes to this Greer conference, and after a couple of meetings, it turns out he believes now that those were people and that they kidnapped these people from these third world countries during natural disasters, oftentimes younger because they can shape their minds easier. They're more susceptible to the kinds of things they need them to do. And that's one of the theories. And you don't want to believe it, so you're like, nah, that's not just kind of brush. That's not real. That's no way. They're not doing that shit. And here we go. Now we're talking hybrids, and we have a United States representative. This isn't Uncle Chet that lives in grandma's basement, right? This is a U.S. congressperson.
Well, I'm still a member of Congress, so I can't really comment too much on what Matt said. But I will say this.
Wait, seriously? Are you being serious, or is that tongue in cheek?
I'm being 100% serious. Okay. I've been 100% serious. I've been briefed by just about every alphabet agency there is. And I'll just tell you this. If they would release the things that I've seen, you would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all.
And I mean, literally, y'all, my last episode on UFOs, Burleson was saying damn near the same thing. He said, quote, "It's terrifying." What?
I'm sick of it. I'll tell you this. I was briefed last week on an issue, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on this country would.
I'm so sorry, y'all. He was going to say it would have set this country on fire. I mean, that's what he was going to say, and I hit the stupid wrong button.
You would stay up. You'd be up at night worrying about or thinking about this stuff. We just need to disclose it all. I'm sick of it. I'll tell you this. I was briefed last week on an issue, 2 weeks ago, and it would have set the earth on this country.
Right. It would have set the earth on fire. That's what he was going to say. And then he was like, oh, yeah, I'm doing a TV interview and I'm a congressperson. I better not say that.
Would have come unglued, I think, if they would have heard all that I heard. They would demand answers. It just keeps getting covered up, and the people that know are dying or disappearing, as the case may be.
Wow.
And for the record, I'm not suicidal, and I don't take risks. So.
I'm glad you said that. I'm speechless, Congress.
I mean, yeah, I'm speechless too. And I usually talk for a long time about all kinds of nonsense, but that's fucking crazy. Now that's 2 Congress people in the last 2 weeks that have said it'll keep you up at night. It's terrifying. And if you go last week's episode, we talked about John Harrington, who was with the Department of Energy, Secretary of Department of Energy, I believe was the actual job title, under Reagan. And he talked about the fact that he had to be briefed. I don't remember the length of time. It was a long time. It was like a month or something in an underground tunnel. And that he also, these thoughts would keep him up at night. So I thought that was so interesting. I cut it in this episode as well. So let me.
We will have you back.
You should.
Yeah, we're going to jump to this after the congressman tells us he's not suicidal. Like, how fucked is that? You got to be like, Burchett out, also not suicidal. Do I got to say that every podcast now? It's crazy.
And I told the president, release it all. And the problem is the people that are around the president don't know and the president doesn't know the questions to ask.
So here is the actual 911 call. I tried to get the full thing in there without any other commentary. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play it start to finish. This was his wife calling 911, even though it sounds like she's calling the non-emergency line, reporting General McCasland missing. Oh, of course. I'm going to have to get bigger buttons or something, right? I always do that. Okay, here we go.
This is April. How may I help you?
Hi, April. My name is Susan Wilkerson. My husband is missing.
Okay.
And it's been about 3 hours, and I have some indication that he must have planned not to be found. He's left his phone. He changed his clothes into I don't know what. I think he's on foot. All of our cars and bicycles are in the garage. I left for a doctor's appointment at about 11:10, and he was here at that time at the house. And I got back from that at noon, and he was gone. He turned it off and left it behind, which seems kind of deliberate because he's always got his phone. He has a smartwatch. I don't know if that's with him or not.
Has he ever done this before?
Never. Nothing even remotely like it. He's a retired Air Force Major General. He's very responsible, but he's also facing some medical issues.
Do you have any video at your home?
No.
Has he been diagnosed with any mental disorders or anything like that?
Well, we've been seeing a doc for both physical and mental in terms of anxiety, short-term memory loss, lack of sleep. The same doc I went to see today.
Does he carry any weapons on him?
Well, not generally. He does have a gun safe, and I went to look in the gun safe to see if anything was missing, but I couldn't tell if anything was. He has quite a number of pistols and rifles. Other than saying if his brain and body keep deteriorating, he didn't want to live like that. But it seemed to me that was just a, man, I hate how this is going kind of thing, because I told him, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay. We're going to send some deputies up to talk to you, see if we can search a little bit and see what's going on, okay?
Sure.
John Harrington. See, it's almost like she implies a little bit there that he was, frustrated with the way things are going. And I don't know. It just seemed like she threw that in, not in a natural way. Not saying the wife's a suspect, but the wife's a suspect. I mean, they're all suspect until you figure it out, right? But it's interesting. It's like you saw there. Today is literally the 36th day. Tomorrow is a very special day for us Christ followers. And for this guy right here. Now that's my old logo, but this is Chris Bledsoe.
While I was gone was a virtual tour. I was inside a bubble, something that was solid that I could stand on, but I couldn't see the walls, but I could touch them. But I could see everything in every direction. And there were always three figures behind me that were shadowy, and they were narrating what I was seeing. And I saw North America from way up high. I saw the whole United States. And then I was taken to Egypt. And I saw the pyramids. And this Hathor's temple. I saw that. The Sphinx facing to the east. And then the lady comes back. This was in 2013 is when I really got that message from her, because that's when I was asked by the Pentagon, by 2 Air Force generals, to put it in writing what she told me. So he come and got it and hand-delivered it to these generals. And when Regulus is red on the horizon, in front of the gaze of the Sphinx, before daylight. So in other words, when it's sitting right on top of the horizon, before the sun comes up, that moment would mark a change in humanity's knowledge. So I gave them the date of 2026 because they took that celestial event and ran it through these machines that showed that exact alignment will happen in 2026 at Easter.
What will happen?
There'll be a new knowledge.
Oh, hey, wait, that's tomorrow. Oh, man. Are y'all feeling knowledgeable yet? Is the knowledge coming? Oh, wait. Here's also Chris Bledsoe. Where is that at? Here we go.
Are angry and not afraid to show it. In fact, they say the builder let them down.
Now, for his part, he says he didn't do anything wrong. Jason Stujenki has more on the building frustration.
They bought new homes in Fox Meadow and Hope Mills, and they're upset.
It's just going to be a battle, though.
Angela Nichols paid more than $250,000 for hers. She says the builder, Chris Bledsoe, promised to fix things and didn't.
It's a beautiful house, but because of what we've gone through, I don't enjoy being here.
She has a list of complaints. There are drainage problems in the yard. Some of the wood on the deck is warped. Some screens are missing from the outside windows. And inside, take a look at this. Some of the rooms have doors on back.
Oh my God. It's so fucking funny. It is so fucking funny. So if you've ever had to deal with a nightmare contractor, right? That might be what hell is like you're stuck in this loop with contractors not fixing what they broke or didn't do right in the first place. That could be one of the rings in hell there. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I ain't scared of shit either. There's nothing that's going to happen tomorrow except a bunch of wonderful people are going to celebrate a holiday. That's what's going to happen. That's what always happens. If you look at history, there's been all these times where, like, all throughout history, especially in Western culture, there's been these times where, like, oh, the planets are going to align for the first time in 2,200 years, whatever. I'm just making this up, okay? But I'm just saying there would be these instances like this, and people would literally kill themselves. If you remember Y2K, 2012, right? Like, people will literally, the cult that said they had to get on the Hale-Bopp, on the spaceship behind the Hale-Bopp, right? There's a spaceship behind the Hale-Bopp. I promise. So it happens all the time. These false prophets, that's what they're called, go forward and say, oh my God, this crazy thing's going to happen in the future. And they get this following. And then when it comes close to the time for things to happen, they either make something happen or they change the date. And I think in Bledsoe's instance, I think he actually changed the date.
Are angry.
Oops, sorry, y'all. yeah, he actually, I think he's tried to push it to like October or something. But nothing's going to happen then either, y'all. The human race, if it's going to be destroyed, is probably going to be destroyed by itself. Just like this guy's house is
We were in the house probably 2 months when water came pouring through my son's bedroom.
She says her roof leaks and her driveway dips.
It pools water there and will hold water for 3 or 4 days. If it's cold, it freezes.
And we're
brand new house, y'all.
taking care of it. Bledsoe defends his work. He says he built 90 homes last year and got fewer than 5 complaints.
We have fixed everything we can possibly fix. There is maybe 1 or 2 that we're working on.
He says in this neighborhood, one homeowner let the warranty lapse, the other has something personal against him. Meanwhile, Nichols is selling her house. Her neighbor keeps hers but shells out big bucks for repairs.
It's almost sickening, but it's our home, and we've got to have it fixed.
Jason Stujenki, WRAL.
Now, I would also play the video of Chris Bledsoe several years ago failing his lie detector test, but last time I did that, I got a copyright strike. They clearly don't want people circulating that puppy around, so I just had to push it out on X. But that's who this guy is. He's a liar. He's a liar. Sorry. Like if you're in the club, I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's not a nice guy. He seems like a perfectly nice gentleman. But he's being dishonest about this. And if you want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say, oh, it's intelligence messing with him, they're, sending him down the wrong rabbit holes on purpose and this, okay, fine. But he's still a liar. I can't, he sat in the middle of a lie detector test and he was asked about his experience with the being, and he was dishonest about it. I mean, I don't know why you would continue to take advice from a person like that. Like I said, it's perfectly nice, great storyteller. Haven't read his book, but I just don't think he's an honest person. Let's see. Commentary Connoisseur says this lady is the type of person that wants to pay the least but get the best. I'm a contractor, and the only thing that prevents me from getting some jobs is the price. I finish with a handshake and go, yeah, for sure. For sure. And there's some contractors that are good. Absolutely. But if you're a good contractor, that a lot of the business you get is because bad contractors fuck shit up, right? Like that's typically how it goes. So, and I don't think like a giant leak coming into your house from your roof is a little deal when you bought a brand new home, but at any rate, I just think that the point is that he's been dishonest in the past, right? Not like what he might have been, like he was dishonest in the past. What I am more concerned about at this moment in time are these scientists and this general that have gone missing. I mean, we don't have any answers other than that 911 call I played just before this. And I don't know, did any of y'all get a weird vibe from that 911 call? She didn't sound too concerned. And she, to me, from my perspective, she's kind of sounded like she was already laying the groundwork for, hey, maybe he got frustrated, took off, and took himself out. Maybe I'm reading into it too much, probably, but that's kind of the vibe that I got. Now, whether that was intentional or just the truth, who knows? But it didn't feel natural. It felt kind of weird. And the reason I bring up this stuff and the reason we just looked at Chris Bledsoe is because I think we're coming to this intersection here. Folks that study this and care about this and research this and have had experiences, and folks that exploit that passion. And it feels like we're coming to this crossroads where the people that are honest and noble and humble about what they're trying to do and what they're trying to figure out are getting a little tired of the people that exploit that. For instance, I'm just using this as an example. Eric Davis, okay? If you look at the entire lore of UFOs, right? Like we can go, let's go back to like 80, right? Even though it goes back much further. Skinwalker Ranch, the term exotic materials, warp bubble, interdimensional hypothesis, consciousness interaction, warp drive, space-time metric engineering, wormholes, faster than light travel, vacuum energy, all came from Eric Davis. As well as one of the most quoted things in mainstream news about UFOs since Roswell broke, and that was the quote, "Off-world vehicles not made on this earth." It was in an official report, and it was made a huge deal. But it comes right back to this guy. Nice. Oh, I love it. Bravo Johnny says the Nordics are on the way. All right. I'm with it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, goodness. So, yes. And on top of this, y'all, let's not forget at the UAP Disclosure Fund, they had a briefing where Burchett was there, Luna was there, other representatives were there, and Eric Davis proceeded to tell Representative Burchett about the Greys, the reptiles, the insectoids, and the Nordics, or the builders, or the tall whites, or whatever the hell you want to call them. Looked him right in the eye, said it with a straight face. Yeah, we know about these. Do we? I know about the Greys, personally, from a personal experience I had. But the other guys, I ain't never seen them. I ain't never seen them. Tracy, when Luna tried to forget who Eric is, was the... Yes. She's a shifty one, right? That's the ones you gotta look out for, is the ones you're kind of rooting for. They'll always let you down. Every time. So the 4 species, everything I just went over on the previous slide. And then we have, of course, the famed Wilson Davis memo. Now, I bring this up to show the impact that one person can have on this entire field. That's crazy. If you took Eric Davis out of the equation for the last 40 years, you know how much shit would be missing from the UFO lore? And it's probably bullshit. That's their job, remember? Pump in the bullshit. That way they won't be able to discern what's real and what's not. Crazy. Okay, so this is Brent Friedman telling John Harrington, Secretary of Energy story, who was a friend of his since childhood, who says the same exact thing. It keeps him up at night.
I hadn't seen him in years. Our family had moved away. We still got Christmas cards and exchange pleasantries with him. And all of a sudden, he's calling me on the phone out of the blue and says, "Hey, Brent, I've moved the family back east. I'm working in the Reagan administration. I need you to move 2 cars from Walnut Creek with our dog and some stuff we left in the garage across the country." That night, I saw him come home from work in a black Lincoln Town car with 2 Secret Service guys, attending to him, a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist, was brought into the house, taken right into his office where the briefcase goes into a wall safe. He said, "Oh, I can't talk about it. I'm working for the president in a special capacity, and it's all highly classified." He eventually said to me, "Well, look, the fact of the matter is, to get this job, I had to be briefed for a number of months in an underground facility in West Virginia." And I was like, "Wow, that sounds intense." And he goes, "Yeah, I used to cry myself to sleep every night."
Wow.
Now, again, a man's man. When I was growing up, the thought of him crying once in his life was unthinkable to me. The idea of him crying every night, I was shocked. And I said, "Well, what would cause you to do that?" And he said, "Brent, this is not the world I thought I was bringing my daughters into." And he said, "Well, okay, I'll tell you what. I know when you were growing up, you were into science fiction and comic books and all that stuff. Well, aliens are real. They're here, and I've seen them." "What do you mean? Are they alive?" And he said, "I can't say." I said, "You can't say or you won't say?" And he said, "I can't say." "How is it that everyone doesn't know the truth?" And he said, "Oh, lots of people know the truth. You can walk into any bookstore and you're going to find all sorts of books that contain all sorts of truth. And right next to them, you'll find books that we published that are full of lies and disinformation."
Sound familiar? Eric Davis. This here happened, and I know some of you that were with us when this happened. It was pretty wild. I think, Tracy, you were there. Was doing a show on Epstein with my favorite researcher on the planet Earth, Flack Magnet. And this thing literally flew right above his head. You could hear whirs, like maybe there was some blades, like maybe it was a drone. But he says if it was a drone, it was the largest drone he'd ever seen. Said it was very, very large. It reminded, like, size comparison he used was like C-130. And I can tell you that's a big plane. Okay, let's hop over to this interview here. Now, I have not had a chance to watch it all. In fact, I've only had a chance to watch the first 15, 20 minutes. We're just going to watch a little bit because every single time I play Rogan, they copyright me and then I have to dispute it. And then they say, okay. So we're just going to play a couple minutes. But this was what I could get to on Area 51. This was Bob Lazar just the other day. Remember, go to the Joe Rogan podcast and check out the whole thing, of course.
Going back to this reactor. So how was it explained to you? Did they explain to you how the technology works or what they know about it?
Now, the way it was explained to me is when I got to be alone with Barry, he said he was excited to show this to me. He said, "I'm going to turn. This is the reactor that we assume powers the craft." Sorry.
No worries.
I'm going to show you the reactor that powers the craft. And he turned it on. Small little dome on a flat little plate. I said,
"Was this in the craft or was this on a table?"
No, this is in the experimental area.
Okay.
And
so this was not the one that was in the sport craft. This was another one.
This was another one.
This is it here.
Yeah, that's it.
That's in the film.
And on the table, and he had it there, and he went over to the emitter and rotated it, and he said, "Try and touch it." And I put my hand on it, and it rebounded off. and the closer you got to it, the more it pushed back. And that's a real shock, because there's nothing that pushes back like that. That's a living force field. That's science fiction stuff.
That's wild. Commentary says Joe talked more than Bob and his guests the whole time. I love Joe Rogan's show, especially like when he has on certain guests. But I totally agree. There's times, and like I said, I haven't made it through this one, but there's times where he does talk more than his guests, or he'll talk over his guests. You're like, dude, let him go for a minute. Damn. Bob Lazar, this is great for Joe Rogan, because like I said in the beginning, the most views he's ever had on a video was the first time he had Lazar on. And it's everybody gets to fight about Bob Lazar again. People love it. I think that what Luis Cayetano, guest I had on my show, kind of deduced is probably more likely what Bob Lazar is about. If you go to his website, which is ufologyiscorrupt.com, which is not a discreet name, ufologyiscorrupt.com, and he has some great articles there about Bob Lazar if you're researching that. Important to take in all viewpoints, I think. I agree. I think I'm going to watch the documentary too. I mean, how could you not, right? Like, and that he was very much involved, just like with Jeremy Corbell's. Now, apparently he says in this interview that he didn't make any money on that Jeremy Corbell Netflix documentary. I don't know, how is that possible? The whole documentary, you were like the key character in that entire documentary, and I'm quite certain it did pretty well. So I think it's weird that he says he didn't get anything out of that. But he's always said, and this is why I bring up Luis Cayetano's article, because he has always said he never makes a dime off of this stuff. But he's been selling the models, like the Sportcraft models, online for decades. So he does make money off, and that's just one thing. He also has his other business, which, who knows how much of his name and affiliation drives customers in that business. So interesting stuff. I will check out the rest of the Rogan interview, and I'm with you. Commentary, I'll be checking out the documentary too. Now, earlier when we started, I said we were going to talk about this lady, Carla Ruckert. And I gave y'all the link to the Law of One info site. I'll post it again if you want to check it out. And it's pretty cool. It's all free. As far as I know, the website is safe. I didn't make it or anything, but there's just a plethora of information about what she believed about this guy, about Ra. That he was basically it was basically a collective of multiple consciousnesses that communicated and moved knowledge forward. Very interesting take. So if you read her stuff on Ra, it's very interesting. Now, what I was interested in was the channeling with UFOs. So she has said that she's able to channel with UFOs. And they had this session with these other channelers. And it's not a super fast pace, but I think it's very interesting. So we're going to check this out for a little bit. And then this will be the last story of the evening. So take a listen. This is supposed to be channelers actually having a entity from another planet communicate through them, if you believe in such things, which is crazy. There's a lot of things that happen out there that I can't explain. And so when confronted with stuff like this, I try to keep an open mind because I don't know shit. I really don't. I feel like the older you get, the more you realize the less you know. And that's, again, goes back to why I think you need a solid foundation, right? Because there's certain lines like I won't cross. I just won't. But having an open mind, I think, is very important, especially when you're trying to figure all this craziness out. And I think the UFO thing, the UAP thing, and consciousness and belief systems, God, I think it's all kind of connected. Why or how? Well, that's why we're here, right? But this is supposed to be actual messages channeled through, I think it's 3 or 4 different channelers. And if one of them gets too annoying, we'll fast forward through it.
Messages on this.
Now, I want to say, too, the audio on this was a nightmare. So I have cleaned it up as best I could and added the subtitles. They might be off here and there. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up on the notes here. So, monks create myths. I feel Bob Lazar is such a character. Yeah, hey, that's a good point. Very good point. And what did your voice mean by planet? I don't know. I guess I missed it. At any rate, so I added subtitles so we could read it here. If you can't quite hear it well enough, and I did try to clean up the audio as best I could. But remember, these are, say it again, supposed to be ETs that are communicating through channelers on Earth.
They are allegedly from occupants of what we call UFOs. There's no way that I can prove that this is the actual source. If after listening to the tape, you're intrigued by the information, I suggest that you read the book, Secrets of the UFO.
I am Hatan, and I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. It is a very great pleasure to greet each of you this evening, and to especially greet those who are new to this group, and welcome you to our expression of love for your people.
This is the beginning of a typical communication allegedly originating from UFO entities and channeled through a contactee. The contactees whose recorded messages we are using on this tape are all members of various groups throughout the United States who claim to receive the messages telepathically, so that we are hearing the voice of the contactee relaying the thoughts sent by the UFOnauts. Each tape was made at an actual meeting and has not been changed or edited. This accounts for the typically slow delivery of the messages and also for any imperfections in the tape. If we could accept the notion that this contact is taking place and beings from elsewhere are really contacting our planet, perhaps the first question we would ask them is, who are they and why are they here? This is a sample of answers to that question from 3 different contactees.
We in the Confederation of Planets, in service to the Infinite Creator, have in what we would consider to be recent times experienced similar existence to that which you experience at the present time. And being aware of those lessons which can be learned, and also of those pitfalls which can can be experienced. We have chosen to come forth and share with those who would accept information and guidances that would be to their benefit. We of the Confederation wish not to interfere with any individual who would choose not to listen. It is only our desire to be completely open and free with that knowledge and love which we have come to know. And freedom, my friends, can only be found in the recognition of the choice of others.
I and my brothers who are visiting your planet at this time are not strangers to this planet. Our people have had the planet Earth under surveillance for a long, long time. And we are here at this time to render a service to the people of Earth. I and my brothers are here to attempt to teach our Earth brothers love and understanding. This may seem strange to most of you. However, the planet Earth has had many, many years, many generations, many centuries in which to learn love and understanding. I am quite sure there are many who are seeking love and understanding, a new way of life, because they have begun to think for themselves. They know deep within their very being that the way that the people of Earth are living at present, they know that there is much to be desired than this way of life. We are here through guidance and suggestion to bring truth as we understand it to your peoples.
You see, my friends, we of the Confederation of Planets need you just as you need us. In our reality, someone to love and cherish and help and inspire is as necessary to us as is food and drink to you. To us, those whom we have found to be serious students of the path of the Creator, are as delicious as your meat and drink is to you. For you are the means whereby we can enlarge our own horizons of understanding. You are the means whereby we can learn more and more about the disciplines and the interrelationships of what you may call the genetic personality. We study the Creator's arrangement of articulated love, which is manifested forth in His perfect beings. And as we see you dwelling in your heavy chemical illusion, fighting so valiantly to understand and to deal with the intense emotions of that vibration, we are able to gain new depth of insight into the plan of the Father. We know that there is a plan, but its beginning and its end are shrouded in mystery even for us. We know only that it is circular, and that when we are fully at one with the knowledge that we seek, there will be no time, space, or emptiness. And our own personalities will again become part of that one universal thought of love which created all that there is. We know that then we will be sent forth again.
Love and love and love. Love and light. Oh, that's great. Oh, Bobby Joy says, hold on, give her a chance. It's cold on Saturn rings. It is. It's cold out there, y'all. They need some love and some light.
The beginnings of new universes and new cycles of growth. But there are many things about this plan which is infinite, about which we do not yet know. And it is in helping those upon your planet to whom we speak. That we learn by the interaction between us more and more about the basic genetic personality that is common to all of us. We, of course, as we have said many times, have learned what we can in your illusion. We are now in another illusion.
Yeah, I think commentary connoisseurs got a point. Like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's like, I don't know. I haven't heard anything where like bells have gone off my head and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And this goes on, y'all, for like an hour and a half of this. And I am not about to do that right now. I'm just not. So what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to upload the full version to the channel. So if y'all want to check out the full version, I'll get that uploaded. I'll also get it uploaded to the website, gabespeaks.com. You can go there and check out the video archive there. So I think, really the main thing I wanted to hit on tonight was the general missing, his coworker / assistant / researcher had gone missing a few weeks before him. And I mean, that's a crazy one too. Her friends are with her on a hike and they turn around and she's gone. And they're like, well, I guess she just fell off a cliff. But you didn't recover the body? I mean, there's just so much strangeness, y'all. And when they killed that scientist, I think it was in Pennsylvania, I believe right before he was killed, there was a shooting at like Brown University. And I think it was the same person that then went on and killed that professor. And again, these professors have these, professors, a couple of them are professors, have these ties to cutting edge scientific advancement. So it's pretty crazy. Let me see. Did I have a boo at the Black Cube X-ray Tango that a 747 pilot iPhone vid captured up in the cloud? No. Is that something a Black Cube X-ray Tango that a 747 pilot iPhone video captured up in the clouds? No. But I did see a video. Let me see if I can find it. It was, oh my gosh, where was it? Here we go. Kazakhstan. This isn't going to be great quality because I haven't been able to edit it or anything. But this was in Kazakhstan. There won't be any audio, but this is pretty wild. This person caught this on their phone. That's like looking straight up. Wow. That's pretty big, right? It's like bigger than some of those buildings, it looks like. Wild. Yeah, I will, Gray Owl. I'll have to go look it up and check it out. That sounds crazy. Yeah, okay, definitely. I gotta check it out. Then I'll go find it after we wrap up here. But yeah, that's gonna kind of do it for this evening, folks. Please, if you have any information, I mean, not that you'd be sitting here watching this channel late on a Saturday night if you knew where this guy was, but just in case, please notify the authorities if you see this man. If you hear anything about this man, we pray that he is safe, and hopefully can come home. But 36 days, that's over a month, and either he left on purpose and is in hiding, or there's something else going on here. Let's see. Bravo Johnny says you'd like to see what people think of Jordan Maxwell's work. It's doing the rounds these days. I'll have to check that out. Thanks for the tip. Appreciate it. I'll go check that out and see what I think. And yeah, we'll talk about that on the next episode for sure. Jordan Maxwell. What's crazy also was Matt Gaetz talking about this hybrid program on like a pretty mainstream news channel. So, wow. It'll be interesting to see if that goes anywhere. If there's any, I mean, who even investigates something like that? Because guaranteed, if you went to like the FBI with that, they would like laugh you out of the building. You know, you wouldn't get, I don't think anybody would even take you seriously. Man, but people are missing, people are dying, and it's a crazy, scary time to be in the field. So be careful out there. Be safe. Keep your eyes open. Keep your head on a swivel. All that good stuff. I appreciate you hanging out for me on this late night UFO space. And I will see you soon, working on another Epstein angle. I've been working on that for a few days now. I think it'll be pretty interesting. So look out for the next Epstein update. Gonna have some good stuff for you. Yes, shoot me a link, Gray Owl. That would be great. Gabriel Speaks at proton.me. If y'all ever need to send me anything, get in touch with me for anything, just let me know. All right, y'all. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Enjoy your night. Look out for the new knowledge tomorrow. It's dropping.